Hey everyone, it's Erik, Thor here, and in today's video we're talking how to be normal as an INFJ personality type in 10 steps. Okay, let's be real here. You won't figure out this question using a 10-step list, and it's more about how you feel and how you look at yourself and your self-image. And this video will be about helping you reframe how you look at and see yourself, shifting from an outsider's view on you from an insider's view on who I am and how I see myself. I will also show you how to find what it really means to feel different and how you look at feeling different and how you want to feel about yourself ultimately. Because what I found is that, first of all, most people that identify with or as INFJs often feel different, misunderstood, and rare. Yeah, this is the first sentence in most INFJ personality descriptions online. I am the rarest personality type. That's what it says, right? But there are many INFJs online, and knowing this does not really help you at all with how you feel or how you're supposed to feel. Because how do you know how you're supposed to feel or how to navigate that kind of a question? So, the number one question you want to ask yourself is this: do I think that being different is a good or a bad thing? And is it me that's different, or is it everyone else that's weird? The first question, with this I get down to the question of self-image, right? So what you'll find is that there are two types of people: those with a high self-esteem that believe that they are better than other people. So high self-esteem but feel different means I am different in a way that makes me better than other people, smarter, deeper, more empathetic, more intelligent, more competent than other people. Essentially self-grandiosity, you could call it. Low self-esteem and the feeling that you're different can lead to the feeling that I'm worse than other people. So if you think that I am different in a way that makes me unsuited to live in this world, unsuitable for work, unsuitable for relationships, that kind of difference can also tie together with a feeling of brokenness. And the question here is, how do you get from those ideas? How do you get from the idea? People keep telling you, that you need to have better self-esteem, that you need to think better of yourself. But actually you don't. You need to just accept yourself. So you need to move towards self-acceptance, which is the idea that, I am different, and in some ways that's good, and in some ways that can be bad. So my differences, what separates me from other people, is also both a strength and a weakness, and it's going to be a strength and a weakness in different situations, the same way other people's differences can be good for them in different situations. So do I think that being different is a good or a bad thing? Arguably, you should say neither. It can be good and it can be bad. You don't know. You'll not know until the end of your life. The question number two is, in what ways am I different? What is it that makes me feel different? So here you might think about what my core qualities are. What is it that makes me special? What is it that makes me different? What is it that makes me, think I'm different? Are there any specific mannerisms that I have? Any specific way of how I talk? Any specific things about how I move or how I live or what my values are that makes me feel different than other people? So what specifically is it that makes you feel different? Because what you'll find is that if you make a list, on one column you have things that make you feel similar to other people, things that you relate to in others, and on the other side you have things that make you feel different. You'll find that you both have things in common with other people, and you'll find that you have things that make you different from other people, right? So it's not a black and white question, and you want to develop the ability to see the nuances of how am I different and what is it that feels different about me. Because first of all, you are completely warranted in feeling that way. You're warranted in, and you probably have good reasons to feel the way you do. Most people have good reasons to feel the way that they do. And another question, I think a really important one, is, does my differences help me fulfill some kind of special purpose in the world? Because the fact that you're different should be something that allows you to go on a special quest, a quest that nobody else would be able to accomplish. For me, I don't find that very few people have these ranges of specializations that I do. I don't know everything, and there's a lot of things I don't know. Certainly I know less than what I don't know. So what I found is I have a unique specialization in a mix of IT and psychology and linguistic traits. And these 3 skills help me on YouTube, on videos, and it helps me in my writing, and it helps me in exploring specific theories and specific ideas, and in learning special insights that other people might not be able to see. So I'm on a special quest, and my special skills and my special way of being helps me achieve these skills. So how can you leverage what makes you feel different from other people to make yourself uniquely useful to other people, right? Finally, the thing that you really want to think about is, am I different because I'm trying to be different, or am I different by sheer accident? So some of you might feel that, well, I'm just different because I was born that way. I didn't try to, I never put any effort to, I just felt different. I don't know why, I can't explain how or what made me feel that way. It's just how I feel, right? So this can be often when you're starting out and exploring who you are, right? But it's very important to check yourself, really check in with yourself. In what ways am I actively trying to separate from other people and to be different from other people on purpose? And here the question you want to ask yourself is, why am I actively trying to be different to other people? What is it that makes me want to disagree with other people, or to always look at things from the other side, or to always look at things from the outsider view, or always take the black sheep role in the family dynamic? For what reason? And here you might find that there are many different reasons. The black sheep is actually an important role in the family dynamic. It's really about showing your family that you can become successful and happy in a different way than perhaps your older siblings might. That you're going to make it a different way. So it shows something. It shows that you have a basic sense of autonomy. The positive thing about being different is this desire for autonomy, the need to follow your own path in life, the need to listen to your own inner compass, the need to make your own decisions. It's positive that you want to live life your own way and that you want to make your own decisions. What's unhealthy is if you are actively trying to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing just because it is the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So what you have to separate between is, what is it that is different about me that I do because it's who I am, and what is it that is different about me simply because I'm trying too hard to rebel against the other world, or against how other people are, or against the normal way of things, right? And you'll find that the desire to be unique or different is not healthy. What's healthy is the desire to live and trust and respect your own inner voice, to get in touch with yourself. What do I think about this? Another thing to think about is, what kind of actions and words make you feel misunderstood or like an outsider? And here you'll find that there are probably things that people told you growing up that made you feel weird or different or like an outsider. Perhaps it was being criticized by your parents, or being told hard things by your teachers, or perhaps it was bullying at school from other kids, and kids can be cruel, right? And these things can weigh on you. And what's typically the case with people that identify as introverted is that they tend to be more likely to identify as highly sensitive people, especially people that are strong in introversion and intuition. And when you feel sensitive, you often respond more strongly to these kinds of experiences. So just being told that you're different, or being teased for something that feels different, like how you look, or your body shape, or how you act, or your interests or hobbies, no matter what they are, all those things can weigh higher on a person that's highly sensitive than it would on a person that's not as sensitive. Yes, there are lots of people out there that go about their lives doing all kinds of crazy things without really dwelling about them. yes, many people don't really think about the negative things other people say to them and just carry on moving. And the question is here, how do I manage that? And what is it that, especially when you're having intimate relations with other people, what things does my partner say that makes me feel weird or different or odd or misunderstood, right? And those are conversations that you need to have with your partner, right? How does this make me feel? And what do you mean? And how do you feel about this, right? Because here you'll find that probably they have their own associations and experiences and opinions about what this word means or how it should be interpreted, and their own intention that they hold about it, and you have your own intention about it. And from a personal perspective, your interpretation of it is as important as their interpretation of this. And the most important thing is always to check in with yourself. What is the truth? How do I feel? And this is the most important reframe I can tell you in this video, so I hope you watch till the end. When you ask yourself this, do they want me? Do they like me? Am I welcome here? Instead, what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, do I want to be here? Do I like being here? Does this feel right for me? Essentially, treat your questions and doubts and insecurities and your fears about other people as an opportunity to reframe into checking in with yourself and how you feel. Because the most important question is always, how do you feel about this? When you ask yourself, how do other people see me? How do other people describe me? How do other people understand me? The most important thing is, how do you see yourself? And switching this is changing from being a character in a book that somebody else is writing to being an author of your own story. If you want to author your own story, you gotta ask yourself, what story am I going to write for myself, and where am I going to go, and what kind of person am I going to be in this story, right? So this is really about asking yourself who is more important from this position. And yeah, this is not to tell you that other people's opinions are not important, but it's to start with, what do you know? You cannot possibly know what other people think about you. You can ask, but most of the time you'll never really know for sure how they really feel. And yeah, you can go throughout the relationship for 40 years and still not believe that your partner loves you, despite everything they say and despite how loving they are and how kind they are, right? And the thing about feeling different is it's often rooted in this question of like feeling misunderstood by other people. That's what it really comes down to in school and in life and in relationships. Other people are going to say things that are going to hurt us, that are going to make us feel misunderstood, that are going to make us feel different to them in different ways, that will hit upon clashes in values, different priorities, different hobbies, different interests, different ways of making decisions, and different ways of organizing our home and apartment, right? And something that can happen when we feel very stressed and very overwhelmed is this feeling of, I don't want to have to explain myself to other people. I just wish people could magically read my mind and just know how I feel and just know how I think. And I wish I could meet people that would just know this from me instantly. And so many INFJs ask themselves, should I date an INFJ? Should I only spend time around other INFJs? Will that make me feel understood? The answer here is no, because there are many different ways to be INFJs. You'll find that every single INFJ is different in their quest, in their identity, and what they do and what it is that makes them them, you know. And you'll find that while you share surface set of similarities, every single person in this world is different in some regard and is similar to you in another regard. And while you might have an amazing moment where you can really click with somebody and you feel like, wow, we have everything in common, the longer time you spend with somebody, the more time you will hit on these differences and misunderstandings, and that's going to show up in every single relationship. And that's perhaps why many INFJs Google, can I live in a cabin? Can I just remove myself from all people and just live for the rest of my life completely alone and never have to deal with this again, never have to be misunderstood again? Well, the first thing is it really that bad? Is it really that difficult? Can you really not handle that? it's normal to experience hurt, and what the question you're asking yourself is it worth loving if you're going to get hurt, right? That's the fundamental question you're asking yourself here. Is it worth loving if I'm going to get hurt? Yeah, absolutely. Every single person that has loved will say yes. And it really comes down to the question of, will it kill me? No, it won't. And that's perhaps why the most important question you can cultivate is, how do I forgive other people when they hurt my feelings? And how do I talk with other people about this? And how do I open up and share what I feel? And I think I wanted to touch on this when I thought about the question of being bullied and experiencing alienation and estrangement in social settings. And it's the question of what do you say when you feel hurt? How do you handle that emotionally in yourself? First of all, of course, do you recognize it in yourself? Do you feel in yourself that I was hurt in this moment, that was hurtful, or that upset me? And then secondly, how did you express that? How did you stand up for yourself? Did you let them know? Did you say something? Did you speak up? Like if somebody makes you feel not welcome in an environment, what do you do to earn and take your place in the world despite what other people think? Because you have an equal right to live and exist in this world just as every single other person does. And so no other person has the right to say you're not welcome here, or yeah, you can't have the same hobby as me, or can't work in the same career as I do, or can't be in the same meeting as I am because of who you are, right? Nobody can say that to you. And I think one kind of silent alienation that happens is this silent alienation where we slowly and silently like withdraw into our own shells and never speak up about how we feel and what happens and what we experience, and never speak out for our needs and what we want and what we think. And so we slowly limit gradually the space of which we can live in the world, and so we end up feeling like the world belongs less and less to us. And so eventually we feel like we have no choice but to completely pull away from everyone and everything, right? And you want to recognize this spiral while it's happening and start noticing what you can do in order to start expanding that circle again, because you can start opening that clam up and reveal that pearl inside, right? And when you do, the thing about introverts is like the introvert effect, right? Is when an introvert speaks up and starts saying how they feel, and they haven't done so for a while, everyone around you will shut up and start to be like, wow, this person that never really speaks is speaking. That means this must be very important to them, which means I really, really gotta listen. The problem with extroverts, right, is we talk so much, and then, people just tune out and if they forget 90% of what we said, and it's, yeah, just didn't really land, right? So you have that 10%, so when you use that 10%, it really, really lands on people. So use that wisely. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any experiences with this topic, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.